Welcome to Around the Bend with Soki. We're Ramona and Mike, and we have a 2021 Alliance 385 FL. And in this video, we're going to put a tank sensor on the black tank. I've wanted for a while to fix my water sensor problem. Idiot lights on this thing do not work, and they never have worked well, especially the black tank. So today I am going to put one of these new Mopeka sensors on my black tank. I'm going to do that one first because I want to see how it works with the black water, which has got lots of stuff in it. So if it works in that, it'll definitely work in everything else. It's essentially the same thing that they make for the propane tanks, only in a version for using on the water tanks. It's got a fairly easy installation manual. Comes through, shows you where you should place it. What they want you to do is actually put that on the tank about one space from the edge with this particular sensor. So this is what comes in the package. You just saw it all nicely contained in the plastic. They basically say you can quickly attach it. You can monitor directly from your phone. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. I've got the tank app already installed. Has a 1-year warranty. You're supposed to be able to go 2 to 3 years on the battery. We'll see how long that lasts. That's probably the biggest question I have, because that means you have to open up underneath and go back down and do it. So, but other than that, it's supposed to do up to 250 gallons, which we don't have that problem. We have 53-gallon tanks. So it comes with the actual sensor. This is what the sensor looks like. Pretty close to what the other one looks like. Has the magnets on the bottom of it, and it actually has tape over it. You're supposed to put this dielectric compound in there, and that makes it so that it will get a good connection. This is the actual ring that it goes into. Has 3M tape glue on strips on the back. They want you to take this, they call this a primer, 3M primer, and do it around where the actual ring is going to go. Clean it up with that, make it prep, put this on there. This would basically drop in like that right there. I've already synced up my unit, so I don't have to worry about that. It's been working for a couple of days now, basically reading empty, and then this will snap on over the top of it, and you can pop it off with a screwdriver to change it back out. So that's essentially the gist of how this is supposed to go on. The other thing you need to do is you need to measure the height of your tank, and that goes into the settings a little bit. It needs to know what the distance is from the bottom to the top of it. You can set it for a vertical or horizontal tank, and in this case it's going to be a horizontal tank, and then you can set stuff with that. I'll talk about that a little bit more when I show you what the settings look like on the actual phone. Alright, to give you an idea what I'm working with down here. First one, black gray tank. Or the gray tank, I should say, for the bath. The second one is actually my black tank, and that one is my galley tank. So many helpful folks at dealerships and other repairs have been done. I had a number of holes cut in my basement for me. So what I have done is essentially done everything over in the duct tape, but better than duct tape, what I did, I'll show you what I did. I actually put screws in along there. I got a piece of plastic joint material from Lowe's and overlapped it so that now I have this fastened across here so that I only have to seal it up. It's not, the duct tape is not holding everything together anymore. It is being done by the screws that are actually doing it. The good part of this is, for this project, is it gives me ready-made access. One of the things that's kind of key to this process is that I use the 3M duct tape. I've tried some of the other duct tapes and it just doesn't stick as well. The 3M does a pretty good job of it. Okay, so further explain what I did. This is all plastic. It's just a transition material that you can use for like door jambs. And it's fastened along here, overlaps, and I can just screw this back up. So what that does is it lets me open this up. So when I open it up, essentially what you're going to see up in here, this is actually my black tank right here. I've got my Barker valve attached to it so that it lets me use my electric valves to open and close it. The other thing that's on here, this is actually the heating blanket for the black tank. So what it's going to force me to do is I'm going to have to mount the sensor over here to the side so it doesn't interfere with that heating blanket. But it looks like I can do it without too much trouble. Let me see if I can turn on my light for you. So the Barker valve is right there. I use that so I don't have to open and close my tanks. Something to keep an eye on. I had these loosen up once upon a time, and that made this leak. It's not leaking anymore, but vibration does a lot of things to campers. So it's something to keep aware of. The other thing is on this, as I just mentioned, this is actually my heating pad for the tank itself. And that will heat the tank. So I'll have to make sure that I put my sensor here next to it, not on it, because that would impact the reading and it probably would make it fall off as well. So, and as you can see, the tank itself is not necessarily flat, and that's why they want you down here towards the end, because in the middle it'd be probably substantially deeper. So that's where I'm going to go with this thing, is actually try to put it in there, and then I have to measure from the top of my tank down so that I know exactly how deep the tank is. So that's one of the things that I have to do at this point, because that's going to be important on how it actually measures what I've got for water level in the tank itself. So I just measured from the top of my tank to the bottom. It's about 9 inches, but when you look at the tank itself, it's kind of bowed a little bit in the middle. It's not exactly 100% flat. So I'm going to call it 10 and see how it measures. I can adjust it once I start it up and work on the app itself. But that'll give me a place to go. It's going to give me percentage of reading. What I can do is, especially with this tank, is I can actually use my tank flush, run it through a few times, and I know how many gallons I'm putting in, so then I can see how it reads. Because I know it's a 53-gallon tank. If I put in 45 gallons, I should have a certain percentage, and then I can kind of measure it from there. So I just cleaned that area with the squeeze bulb. It's kind of interesting, that tube, you have to pull it apart, squeeze it out, and that takes care of it. Now what I'll do is I'll peel this off and put that back up in that spot right there. So the next step, I have to put this dielectric on the bottom of my sensor. I took the pink tape off I took the big tape off. It's kind of an important thing, because if I forget that, then that's not going to work right. So, and then I put this in place and then put the snap ring, which is this guy, up over the top of it. It should snap in place. And once it's in there, it should read. Okay, so it'll line up my snaps, make sure I got those right. Put this guy right up and in here. Be sure it all snaps in place. That was when I first started. I didn't line the snaps up, beat it, kind of had to take back up, start over again. But that's essentially what it looks like. There's not a whole lot to see once it's in there. And then I can go ahead and close up my underneath. Okay, so the end result is this worked pretty good. I had to do some fine tuning. When I first filled it up, it was reading a little bit high. So in other words, when I did 43 gallons, it should have been reading around 81%. It was reading 91. So I went into here and went into my settings. And down here, I actually changed it to 11 for the height. And when I did that, I was able to refill the tank. I didn't do it while I was actually filling it, because I was trying to get some other stuff done at the same time. But the end result is that I put 38 gallons in, it should have read something like around 81%. Or 71%. It read 72. So that was pretty good. I consider that to be about as close as I'm going to get. So we'll watch. So after testing this for a few weeks, we found out that this doesn't work very well on black tanks. And Mopeka has really good tech support, which verified that there is a problem when you use it on a black tank. It actually will interfere with the acoustic sensor as the solids build up in the tank. So it would build up to about 60% under a full hookup site, but in dry camping, it would be 0, which is kind of a fail. So anyway, we did some checking on this, and you might think this is a fail, but actually it really was a good test, and it will work very well for what we want to do.